when I looked up, when I stood up, I had a standing ovation from all three judges, and Lionel essentially said all I needed was for people to see me. I didn't even need to be on the show, but if there was anything that they could do about it, they were going to make sure that all the things that I said I wanted to happen were going to happen, like selling out stadiums and all that stuff, or it hadn't been the right situation. And so essentially, that moment, particularly the moment when after all of that, they, you know, looked at me and they were like, "You're going to Hollywood. Here's a golden
Here's
ticket."
a golden ticket.
Particularly in that moment, um, my mindset shifted even further. I was like, well, what if I, so, I got prepared and all the other things like that. And then it was time for the premiere episode to air, and I was told, oh yeah, no, you won't be on the premiere episode, but stay tuned. We're gonna let you know when you're gonna be premiering. It'll be like, we'll let you know within a week and a half or something like that. First episode comes on, and I'm so excited because I'm like, okay, it's about that time. I see my face, I see a little glimpse of it. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Here we are. Then second episode comes out, and I'm seeing more of my friends up there. I'm like, oh yeah, this is really, really dope. Third episode comes out. I'm like, I haven't heard anything about when I'm getting aired on this part of the show. Okay.
Right.
And so I'm like, talking back and forth with publicists, with the social media team, with the lawyers, everything. Like just keeping everybody. I'm like, I'm over here acting like they work for me. I'm like, all right, cool. So guys, let's be ready. So I mean, this is about to be a crazy thing for all of us, and I appreciate you all for being on the squad. Like, hey, so we're gonna move in this direction, and we're gonna get this together. I've gone ahead and set this up so that once the thing, and then the fifth episode airs. The fifth episode is the final episode for auditions, and I'm like, okay. I was not on that episode. So then it was I got a message, giving me the go ahead to talk about what happened in the audition round and everything like that, because it wasn't airing on the show, like the actual audition itself. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I mean, like, the first episode was really going to be like, the one that really did the things for me. But that's okay. That's okay.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the UnParishable Podcast. Yeah. I got a special guest with me today, a longtime friend and fellow musician in the game. Man, you've done so much, continue to do so much. Right now, he's been on American Idol. Before that, you might have seen him on The Four. We about to get into it with the homie Eddie Callier.
So you know what? Since we're doing this in a public forum, I want to go ahead and I want to get this for everybody that's watching. So
Yeah.
So you gotta get fancy with the last name. You gotta get fancy with the French roll, right?
Okay.
So it's Eddie Callier.
Callier.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's almost like Callier, but like if you add a little bit of that French, like in
Callier
there,
from the back of the throat.
yeah, it's like you kind of stop it as it's, so Eddie Callier.
Callier. Okay,
Callier.
hold on. Let me do it again. Welcome, everybody, to the podcast. And today, we have a very special guest. So special that his last name has a very special pronunciation. We are here with the homie, Eddie Callier.
Come on now.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh man, that's dope.
I had to dig into my Haitian French roots for
There
that
it goes.
one to pull out the back of the throat.
And it's funny because
know.
actually the name, my last name is French. It's I have Creole roots on my dad's side.
Oh,
So,
okay.
From New Orleans,
Yeah. We all up in there. In
Yeah.
America, you never know what you're gonna get.
True.
we the DNA is all up in there.
It
You
is.
know, you got French, Germans, English, African,
So
Spanish.
what's funny about it is, you know, we got some DNA results back and stuff like that some time ago, and then also, our lineage, we kind of have some idea of where we come from in my family. So I'm actually a mixture of German, Jewish, Polish, Irish, French, Native American, West African, and West Indian. It's
Whoa.
crazy. Like,
Yeah.
I'm all over the place.
So I did mine a while ago.
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago, I think my grandmother did hers. And I know that my great grandmother on my dad's side is German.
Oh,
She came straight
wow.
from Germany, Nazi Germany. She escaped that.
Oh, that's crazy.
And the man she was with was a Puerto Rican man, but he was just as dark as you.
That's how, yeah,
But he
that sounds
came
about
from
right.
Madrid. So my
Wow.
grandmother is half German, half Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
And her theory is that her dad actually came from Africa to Madrid and then from
Ah.
Madrid to Puerto Rico.
Oh,
So,
wow.
which, I mean, Africa is technically right next to Spain. Like,
Yeah,
they're right there.
right. It's,
So it wouldn't be that far of a trip. But then on my mother's side, it's all Haitian. So that's all the African ancestry. So
yeah.
when I looked at my ancestry, it was a lot of West African and
Yep.
Congo and Central Africa with the Congo.
Nice.
And then we had some East African,
Yeah.
and there's of course like the Spaniard from Spain and all that from the Puerto Ricans and
Yeah.
Dominicans, and then like a hint of Jewish too. Like
Yeah.
it said Ashkenazi
Oh
Jew
yeah,
in there. So
I got
yeah.
some of that in there too. You know what's interesting? This is something I'm just now thinking about. I don't know where the African. I don't know where in Africa the African parts of me come from on my mom's side. Because my mom's side, that's the side we know about, like, the Jewish, the German, the Polish,
Right.
like, and all that. But uh, I've never uh, I've never been told like where in Africa. Cause I mean, like everybody on my mom's side is like this tone, but also everybody has like these like dark eyes. And so I'm thinking like, I don't know, it gives me real like East African vibes. It really does. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna figure it out.
Like Senegalese type.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that could make
Yeah.
Sudanese, I think maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, either way, it's kind of hard to tell because,
Yeah.
it's like I said, we all up in there. Like,
All up in there.
it's all got mixed up, many different ways.
Yeah.
So even when it says on my thing, like West African, like
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, that could be from this region to that region. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I
And
know the
then,
West African comes from my dad's side. Definitely has the West African.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like the Nigeria, Benin,
Mm-hmm.
Ghanaian, all that.
Yeah.
All that jazz.
Sounds like I need to make a trip to come see my cousins.
Exactly. Shoot, me too. It's long. I need to go to Haiti.
Yeah.
I haven't been since I was like 4 or something. And
Man, wow.
the funny thing is, I kind of remember the trip,
Yeah.
but they're going through some stuff
Yeah.
in Haiti. But all of Haiti isn't fucked up. Like
Yeah.
the capital is kind of going through their little thing, but like
Mm-hmm.
white people are still up in, Labadie and Cap Haitien,
Yeah.
on, the frickin' cruises getting
Mm-hmm.
dropped off up there and then going back home. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
looks crazy when they show you some of them clips of the people in the capital in Port-au-Prince and stuff. But
Yeah.
if you go to other areas, it's still beautiful. It's an island, a big island. It's not just one
Like
part,
one area. That's the thing. It's like, especially like with African nations, the fact that that the media has found some kind of way to like hyper focus on these pockets. Like, have y'all hyper focused on pockets of America? Like,
Right.
y'all over here talking about. But I feel like that's changing a lot too. Like I've noticed, and
Yeah.
particularly, I feel like Black Panther was one of the movies that kind of started pushing forward the narrative that maybe a lot of these African nations are really dope. Like because
Yep.
growing up, they didn't really. Whenever they were talking about Africa or talking about things in Africa or like showing it, we just see in the eyes of the angel.
What's that, Sarah McLachlan?
Yeah, exactly. With the fly on the nose. I'm like, bro, come on, do
Son,
us better than
that's
that.
like that Trevor Noah freaking
Yeah.
skit where he was like, I don't care how poor I was always able to lift my hand up and fucking do this to get the flies out of my face.
Exactly, man.
Come
No.
on, they did him mad dirty in them
So
Sarah
dirty.
McLachlan things.
I know, right?
But no, yeah, like you're starting to see pictures of developed cities
Yeah.
because they've always been developed. It's always
Exactly.
been that cool and that
Yeah.
dope over there, and the culture is like still thrives. Their culture
Yeah.
still thrives. So it kind of is like a Wakanda where you see technology and like
Yeah.
high rises in cities, but their African cultures
Crazy
are
thing.
surrounding it.
So like pretty much it really is like Wakanda. Like what is the name of the country? Oh, somebody's gonna see this.
Is it the Congo?
I think it's the Congo, right? That makes all of pretty much the material that's in all of the technology in the world, pretty much.
The cobalt and I
cobalt.
think it's cobalt and some other mineral, but it's all the stuff we use for our batteries and phones. They're
Exactly.
mining it right out in the Congo, yes.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
miners, the conditions that these people mine all this stuff in, they not getting no money.
Yeah.
But you got like Chinese and American businesses going over there, fucking them people up, taking it. Because if America has that resource here, we're a rich country. Other countries that have those type of resources, like the Middle East with oil,
Right.
we couldn't steal the oil from them, so we just had no choice but to buy it from them, and they're
Yeah.
rich. So think about if
Like chocolate, cocoa plants. Like
I think that's it's a weird. Man, what's the name of that fucking country? It's gonna kill me. It starts with a B.
Oh. Starts with a B.
The Burkina Faso or Burkina Faso, something like that. It's an African country where they
Okay.
get a lot of the cocoa plants and stuff from too.
Yeah, somebody
Like,
was just telling me about that the other day.
yes.
It's funny because it was actually at the weirdest place that somebody was telling me about this. I was at the gas station and I was like in the middle of nowhere. I just picked up a rental car. I was like stopping somewhere to get a snack and I had a snack. And then I was like, oh man, look at the chocolate. I'm vegan, so, I don't eat the milk chocolate, but it would be interesting. And then the guy at the counter just started giving me this dissertation like about the conditions of people who are farming the cocoa plants and everything like that, and talking about like the way that everything is set up with the pay system and all of that, and how it's
it's pretty
essentially
bad.
like new age slavery and things of that nature.
It's pretty
And then
bad.
he was like, "But it's $2.99 right now." So,
But we gotta fucking sell, you know. You could just this fucking slave chocolate.
Yeah.
You could just get it on sale real quick.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's all good.
Can you imagine if at every grocery store, particularly here in America, if at every grocery store they were required to talk about like the conditions of the people,
Yeah,
and like what goes in
where
the food,
shit came from, what's in it, what happened to the people farming it, what happened to it during transport, like all that type of stuff would be crazy.
So I'm not
But-
gonna lie, I'm trying to get out of here. I'm trying to get out of here. Somebody call me for an international tour.
I feel that. I would love to do an
Like,
international tour.
man.
Anybody out in Africa, I would love to fucking tour
No,
Africa.
seriously,
That would be
absolutely.
beautiful.
Yeah.
But no, that chocolate thing, when I first found out about it, like, it was kind of every time I find out something about fucking Africa or like my people of colors thing, man, like it just hurts my heart.
There's
And
people of color
everywhere,
everywhere.
dog.
It's not even just like it's like the conditions of like the more melanin, the more stuff you're in. Like it's crazy.
That's a bar.
That's a bar. I thought about it as I was saying it, and I heard it coming out of my mouth. I'm like, I need to write that down.
The more
But
melanin, the more
more
stuff
stuff.
you win.
but
Okay.
like in India,
Yes.
in Africa, even in South America.
Yeah.
Like it's so funny. I had a beautiful experience at South by Southwest, and it's so funny because when here in America, essentially we're given certain narratives and certain views of what like countries around the world look like,
Right.
and what the people of those countries look like, and a lot of times that looks a certain way and isn't that way actually there. Like I had no idea that if you go to Brazil, you see people that look like me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the thing about it is I found out you go pretty much anywhere in the world, there's somebody that looks like me there.
Absolutely.
Like it's
everywhere. We're all
crazy.
over the world, just like white people would be all over the world.
Yeah.
We're all over the world.
And so it makes no sense. Like when the argument, the 007 argument, right? Like, because there are people that argue, oh yeah, 007 couldn't be black because he just stand out when he goes out places. I'm like, like what?
That's fucking wild, dog.
That's
This
so
man will
wild.
go to like South America or go to fucking, Brazil or India. And you telling me that a white man ain't going, the whitest of white men, no pigment,
Right,
is
exactly.
not gonna stand out. Like you're not
Crazy.
even a spicy white. You just
Not even a
like,
spicy
come on,
white,
son.
yo. That's crazy.
You're not even a
Yeah.
spicy white. You like the whitest of white. Milk,
No
white
paprika,
bread.
no cumin, like yo,
No red pepper flakes, son.
none of that.
No nothing.
It is
Spice,
right.
no
Like,
spicy white.
you know what really got me with that? Watching the old, not the old 007, but like I guess it's not old 007. It's the current series of 007 before they go to the next one, whatever it is. But where the first movie starts in Africa. What? That's crazy. You got this like oh my gosh. And I'm like, to all my non-melanated folks, I love y'all so much. But we
Yeah.
gotta take a second to admit
Yeah.
that's crazy. This man was doing a mission, a whole mission. And the movie started with him beating up folks in Africa. What does that mean? What's happening here?
Right.
Like,
But a black 007 person's gonna stand out in the world
Right.
wherever they went.
You know
like he's
what?
only doing spy missions with like European nations or
exactly.
Russia. You
But
know?
here's the thing. Here's the thing that I think it might be also the narrative and the visual that we've gotten used to with James Bond 007 specifically, like with, the suit and tie and the tux and the thing.
Yeah.
Like some of the places that James Bond can't go, that a black James Bond could go. Like you walk in there with the suit and tie and the tux, and then you'll be standing out anyway.
Right.
Like a James Bond could really get in. I mean, a black James Bond could really get in there though, and like
Right. If he had like a actual dashiki or
Yeah.
like traditional fucking
Let a-
spiritual god, like a Yoruba,
Right. Let a
whole
white James
spiritual
Bond
thing.
walk in with a dashiki, and everybody's gonna have questions.
Nah, you getting smacked.
Getting smacked. You know what though? A movie that I saw or a show that I saw that really kind of did a good job with that was the new Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but people have been
Man,
talking about how good it
I'm
is.
not gonna do any spoilers, but Childish Gambino, like Donald Glover, he
I
did
did
the
it. He did it
thing.
again.
He did the thing. He did the thing. It was very well done. I really enjoyed it. And what was cool about it is like neither of them were white, but
Right.
their entire like thing is being these spies, these assassins, and everything like that. And so it's like they're sneaking into places and doing things, and they find ways to be that, like in ways that are best suit them, and it totally shifts that narrative of like to be the best spy, white man, blonde hair, blue eyes, like I really enjoy where like in just I feel like this is the most I've talked about blackness on a public forum before, and I'm loving it. It's crazy.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
As funny thing is, every time I do one of these things, I always say I never know how it's gonna go. I always have my ideas of talking points, like okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about this, and this.
Yeah.
But for some reason, this record button is just like a magical button.
Shuffle
Yeah,
button.
it
Like
just
a randomizer.
recalibrates everything because
Anyway,
hold on one more time.
wait, here we go. There it goes. There it goes.
We can't help it.
Oh my god.
Can't help it.
Can't help it.
But no, this
And
it's
they're
like,
like swimwear. Splash. I can't believe I
they're
said
like
that.
swimwear,
Splash.
cannonball.
Oh my god. Cannonball. I'm adding that to the thing. That's gonna be a thing that I say now, guys. Like just in general. Like just see me in the function. I'm gonna be like, splash! Nobody's gonna know why. Except for the people that watch this video.
Except for the people that know.
Except for the
If you
people
know,
that know.
as they say, if you know, you know.
You know.
But no, yeah, we always go off.
Yeah.
Like I'll have my idea, but for some weird reason, we started talking about our heritage,
Yeah.
which then leads to talking about black issues globally, you know.
Yeah.
And I love talking about these things. These things always come in my spirit. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
because of my Haitian heritage, where I'm always looking into things about the diaspora as a whole, because
Yeah.
I think growing up learning about Haiti being the first black nation to free itself from
Yeah.
slavery and stuff like that just always interests me.
Yeah.
And like all of the industries that we have now
Yeah.
that other nations benefit from that ours don't,
Yeah.
it always like
Yeah.
gets to me, and I be wanting to know more, but then I don't know what to do about it, and then I don't,
Right.
like, I'm just a fucking musician, what the fuck. And then after a while I just gotta be like, I just need to drink some water and go for a walk. You know what I'm
I
saying?
feel
And
that.
go kiss my children and my wife, or my son. I don't have children, but go kiss my son and my wife, and I don't know, watch TV or something, because it's too much for me sometimes.
It's so interesting because, and I might be setting myself up for something with saying this, and if I am,
It might be
Here we
setting up
go.
for something good. You never know.
if I am, here we go. I don't particularly agree with the idea that every person that does something in a social medium, particularly in the creative arts, should be also seen to be a voice for every cause.
No.
Particularly because most of us are crazy. Like the thing. Okay, think about it. All right,
I agree.
everybody watching this, I want you to sit here and go on this journey with me. Okay, so essentially, you get this group of people who is in the minority of the general population of the world, billions of people. You have millions of people who their entire job, their entire thing is to create things that don't exist. Do you think a normal person creates things that don't exist?
Absolutely not.
Like, so you like to be able to think of things outside of what's normal. You can't also be normal. And that's not to give anybody a pass or any of that stuff. So don't, but what I'm saying is that we can't sit here and be like, oh, Kanye just made something that we haven't heard before. Oh, he just flipped a sample in a way that we never expected. And then also be like, he would lead a country well. Like,
No.
I mean,
I also think leaders of countries are not normal, sane people either.
nobody is. I
Yeah,
feel like we need to. I feel like we need to collectively, as a society, get rid of the idea of normal. There's conformity and then there's non-conformity, and
absolutely.
I believe there's a blend of that somewhere in there as well. But the idea of normal isn't a thing. Like nobody, if you go into the homes of people when they're not in like I'm doing something for for society mode, nobody is normal. Like, do you realize what the other side of a Netflix television screen looks like? People sitting there watching these shows, they're not normal. Nobody's normal. Like,
No, that's funny because I was having an argument with somebody about a specific topic, and one of the things they brought up, they said something about something being natural or not,
yeah,
right? And they're arguing me down, and I was like, "Nigga, stop talking about what's natural because we watching a TV, and TVs are not natural or normal. Like 100 years ago, this didn't exist. You know what I'm saying? Don't talk to me about natural when we shit in toilets because toilets are not
toilets were
natural.
not.
It's an invention, it's a creation of us. We take the world around us and we shape it to our liking. It's hard to say what is natural and not natural. Technically, most of the fruits and vegetables we eat, we've engineered them to be that way. Not sometimes bioengineered, but also just by breeding, like
By
forced breeding
exactly,
oh, we put this plant with this plant, it's gonna make
it's
this
gonna make
thing,
this
like we
thing.
do with dogs or cats or whatever. So when
Yeah,
people talk about something being natural, like here's the fucking thing. It exists.
yeah,
It's here.
yeah.
So it's gotta be some form of natural because
Right.
it's here. So you're saying that we live in the natural world and something that we have is not natural,
Yeah.
but it's here.
It's here.
So now I'm not gonna get too deep into what we were talking about because
You know,
it's a whole
it's a-
other
it's
conversation that I'm
definitely
sure you can guess what we were talking about. But
it's
it's
a
like,
rabbit hole.
you guys want to claim some things or someone's existence as not what it should
Oh
be, but we
yeah.
live in the natural world and they are here too. So how are you going to say that this is not natural when the
Right.
whole world clearly thinks it's okay for them to be here because they exist? It
Right.
is natural or some form of whatever. It doesn't even matter. It's here. It exists. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like normal, natural, what is or isn't supposed to be, like it's all on a case by case basis, and it's not about like being normal. But on the case of like people being a voice for things, I think I would agree. Like everyone,
Yeah.
especially people with now, I will say on the other side too, just to give
Right.
a little bit of empathy towards the people on the other side who
Right.
want people to be voices for certain things. when you have people getting a message out there,
Yeah.
it helps your cause.
Yeah.
But everybody
Can't
should not and cannot be a part of every cause, because they might fuck it
exactly.
up, and
See,
they might not know what they're talking about,
yeah.
or they'll use it for their advantage as opposed to the
Exactly.
advantage that you think it is. And everything has its like gray areas and weighing
Yeah.
things out, like the effect or the benefit or what it costs.
Yeah.
And sometimes some people should not speak on things, but I do think that there are people that choose to speak on things, want to be voices, but then get mad when people criticize their voice. Like, everything's
Yeah.
such a big
It's like, so
chaotic bubble.
being in a position of influence, definitely I can say, uh, when people are in that place, people will listen to the things that they have to say.
Right.
But that's also the thing. People will listen to the things that they have to say. So you don't want them talking about everything, particularly the things that they know nothing about.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it's not their job nor their place to speak on certain things, then don't expect them to and to be eloquent about it. They may feel some type of way about something. They may feel
Right.
passionate about it, but then when they feel passionate about something that they don't know about and they speak about it, just like regular people do that every day,
Yeah.
every single day.
Right.
Like regular. And here I am talking about regular after I just said like normal does it. But like people who aren't of particular influence or things like that,
Right.
They talk about whatever's on their mind every single day. But the difference is, like people around them aren't expecting them to say something profound that's going to change the lives of everybody else. And
Right.
so there are definitely two sides to it.
Yeah.
There's definitely, a responsibility. I will say that.
Yeah.
There's a responsibility to be intentional and a responsibility to be knowledgeable about the things that you do talk about. But if you're
Exactly.
not knowledgeable about it, if you don't know, then I mean, there's a side of me that wants to say, educate yourself if it's something that you're passionate about or something that you're interested in. But if you're not, and like,
Yeah,
there's a balance.
it's a balance.
It's
If
definitely a
you're
balance.
not, then don't discourage or disparage people that do.
Yeah.
And if I say, like, look, I understand, you have a big cause that you're passionate about and you're coming to me, but I don't think I'm your guy, then that means you should move on. And
Right.
it probably would be better, because you want
Yeah.
someone who is
Who's
passionate
passionate and knowledgeable.
and wants to really help with the thing that you
Exactly.
feel. And yeah, it's a catch-22. It's
It
it's
is.
a balancing act. And people just people the people that need to be educating people should do their due diligence. There is
Yeah.
a responsibility, like you said. Oh, that's what I was getting ready to say. I was trying to talk until the fucking thought
Yeah, yeah,
came
yeah,
right
yeah.
back,
I
came back in
understand
my
that.
head. But no, what I was gonna say is I've struggled in the past with my thoughts about um artist responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
where I used to kind of think, it's like when people blame artists for certain things, like, oh, they're
Yeah.
promoting this or they're saying this in their music and it's causing the kids to yada yada yada. And before,
Yeah.
I'd be like, nah, man, like, you gotta parent your child, or you've gotta, take accountability over your own actions. And
Yeah.
there's so many other variables that had caused which I still believe all of this is true. Like, especially when it comes to hip hop and
Mm-hmm.
urban culture, where they say that we're destroying the minds of the youth with hip hop, but we're not even the source of the problems. We're usually talking about the problems
Yeah.
that have happened in our communities, and
That's the
then want to
thing.
blame us for talking about it and saying we're the problem. We're the ones who caused our kids to kill each other. Really? Not the predicaments you've put them in, not the hard choices they've had to make growing up.
Right.
Anyways, but I still think there is some responsibility though on the
Absolutely.
artists. There
Absolutely.
is. It's not 100%. It's
Mhm.
maybe not even 50%,
Yeah.
maybe not even 40, but there is
Mhm.
some onus that. So, for instance, Future makes a lot of drug music, right?
Mhm.
Um, Juice World idolized Future.
Mhm.
He was saying that Future was one of the people that wanted him made him become interested in drugs. He
Wow.
started heavy on the drugs
Mhm.
and then he overdosed on drugs.
Yeah.
So I don't think Future gave that kid drugs and was like,
Right.
you need to do this. I don't think Future is saying to everybody, hey, y'all need to motherfucking be a drug addict. But there is some responsibility, especially because Future does not do the drugs
That
that
is
he talks about.
so
So there is
true.
some responsibility.
Yeah.
Some there should be no there should in all artists or creatives or
Mhm.
people of influence mind, there should be some thought that I'm going to
Absolutely.
say or do something that can affect people. It shouldn't hinder
Absolutely.
you. It shouldn't not let you be you. But
Mhm.
at the same time, you should have a certain intention and thought
Yeah.
and reason for what you do because it
Yeah.
does impact and it does
It
have an
does.
effect. It's not 100% of the effect. It's
Mhm.
not a majority of the effect, but you
Yeah.
do want to make sure the effect you have is responsible and
Mhm.
effective in a way that you would want to be affected, you
And
know.
I'm really, really, really heavy on my like personal level of responsibility and intention in the music that I make and in
Right.
everything about what I'm doing as an artist because I've seen what that does, what that can do, what the power of it is. I've been able to see firsthand what music, because music hits a certain part of the brain,
Oh, yes, it
and
does.
it allows certain messages to be easier digested than they would be
Hmm.
like otherwise.
We learn as children through melodies. Like we
Exactly.
sing the
A B
ABCs,
C D
we
E
sing
F
our
G.
numbers,
Yeah.
like we do rhythms and
Yeah.
taps and different things to learn all the things around us.
Exactly.
So, yeah, for some reason, it taps into a part of us that could go
Hmm.
back to like the storytelling ritual, like
Yeah.
things that when we were tribal groups that helped us learn because people
Yeah.
taught through their stories back in the
Hmm.
day, like their shamans and their healers and their chieftains and stuff would teach them their culture through stories which involved singing and dancing and acting
Hmm.
stuff out in
Hmm.
ceremonies and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
maybe because we learned that way back in the day, it's easier to learn that now. So there is a transference of things through
Absolutely.
through the music that
Yeah.
we give out and that people can pick up,
Yeah.
you know?
And I mean, not to get too deep, but like I've done so much research and like put so much thought. Like music is a medium in which you can reach people several like way, like of course orally, through the sound.
Hmm.
Also, like vibrations are they can affect the molecular structure of
Right.
things. And then not only that, you got what happens psychologically, you have
Hmm.
what happens spiritually, like all of that. Like when you get into this whole thing, you some people don't think about that, but I very much so do, because I realize that you're doing a lot when you get up there. When you get up on stage, when you're making these records and everything like that, you have the ability to affect people's
Oh
lives in
yeah.
so many ways. And so yeah, me personally, I very much so am like everything from the notes that I choose to the things that I choose to talk about to the way that I present it on stage, all of that is very, very much so very intentional, because like I said, I've seen in person, and like person to person, what that can do for somebody or to
Yeah.
somebody.
It's always crazy performing and or even just watching a performance, being in
Yeah.
the audience on the side and watching everyone just jive together. Like they're all doing the same thing. We're all the music and the person that's administering the music
Yeah.
on stage is syncing everyone up, and it
Yeah.
gives a feeling in the room when
Yeah.
everyone is together
Yeah.
and on that one accord, and we
Mhm.
all are, because all of us are giving our energy and attention to this one thing.
Yeah.
And like maybe it calls back to the tribal stuff or this connection of oneness that I feel like we
Yeah.
all want to have with each other. But the music gives us that ability to do that.
Yeah.
And we just, it feels like you just can tell. So we spoke about this the other day. I'm the tech and
Mhm.
stage manager for Stokely.
Yeah.
And there are times,
Shout out Stokely.
shout out Stokely, the GOAT, man. But there are times where he's starting off his show, he's doing his thing, and it just gets to a certain part in the show where you
Yeah.
can tell everyone's like on the same rhythm and beat now, and the whole
Yeah.
like theater or arena or room just like changes, and everyone
Yeah.
can feel it, from the people on the stage to the person all the way in the top back row. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And you just like come off the stage and everyone's like feeling it, because
Yeah.
like, man, that was so amazing. And it's hard to describe what the thing is that was amazing, but you're just like,
Mhm.
that was amazing, this
Yeah.
was great, the people were this, and you're talking about all the moments of the show. It's just,
Yeah.
it's a, to me it's it's amazing, great thing, which is why I love doing it.
Yeah.
As funny as it might seem to some people that really know me, because my personality is very like chill, I'm laid back, I'm not like an extrovert, I'm like sometimes have anxiety around large groups of people and
I
stuff.
feel that. I
But for
feel
some
that.
reason, being up on stage,
Yeah.
I don't feel that. And
It
it
just
just,
washes it all
I get to
away.
sing and rap and play bass and move
Yeah.
around and do things, and I'm good, you know?
Man, it's so crazy because I say this all the time. It's so interesting. I am more comfortable on stage a lot of times than I am in general settings. Like
Right.
it's really weird, especially for like to think about that for anybody who's not who doesn't do this, but like for the people who do, like we understand what that is. Like it's just something about being on stage, being in front of people, and being able to have that like interaction, being able to know that what you're doing is doing something for somebody that like I I feel that makes me comfortable. That makes me
Yeah.
happy that you know I don't know. It's very 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 interesting. It's a very interesting thought. And then especially like going on a forum like going on a forum like American Idol.
Yeah, so we probably should talk about
with the
that.
with the intention to be in front of millions of people,
Right.
the thought process that goes behind like, okay, so how am I presenting this and what am I presenting? And then like, like what do I want to be the reaction to this, to the entire experience once people see this on the television screen.
Right, precisely. Well, I think you do very well with, I can tell when uh it's rehearsed and it's intentional, and it's like every beat. I think that some people, because people aren't musicians and they're not, even so, I think some musicians don't really fully get this until they get to a certain level and get into rooms with people who are on a certain level. But none of that stuff is an accident. It's not a
None of it
mistake. When
is.
you watching Janet Jackson, when you watch Michael Jackson, when you watch Prince, when you watch Usher, when you watch all these people on the stage that like are doing Super Bowl or doing arenas, doing all these things, like every beat
Yeah,
is planned. It might
exactly.
look like Michael Jackson's just doing his thing,
Yeah.
but no, he's saying in rehearsal, hey, when I get to this part, I'm gonna be on this side of the stage. I'm gonna do this
Mm-hmm.
dance. At that point, I want to the keyboard player to do a solo right here, and
Mm-hmm.
then the keyboard player does a solo right there. Then we're gonna
Yeah.
transition into remember the time, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna, yada yada yada, whatever. Like it's
Even
all planned out. Like it's
even
all
down to like
thought out.
the movement of hands and
Right.
like the movement of eyes, and like if I turn my head to the left at a certain point, like I'm turning because there's something like specifically that I'm turning for, like
Right.
maybe there's a hit in the music or something like that, or like just something that I'm reacting to or that I want to highlight. Like everything, every little bit of it, it's all very, very, very intentional. Even the
Right.
parts that are so free. Somebody actually was talking to me the other day about, like being free on stage. How are you so free? I find the freedom on stage in knowing exactly what it is we're doing. Like
Exactly.
the freedom is in having everything, lined up.
Because
And
what the freedom is confidence. It's
exactly.
it's like I'm confident in the fact that I know what I'm doing when I'm up here because
Hmm.
I got it down packed. And what it also gives you the ability to do is the times that you need to free form or do like let's say because anything can happen during a show. Let's say your
Yeah.
tracks go out.
Hmm.
Y'all are so well rehearsed that it's like, okay, we know the time, we know the feel, we know the groove. Let's
Exactly.
just keep doing this thing until they get it back up, and then, or it gives you the ability to be able to make a shift or to adjust if you need to. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because then you know where you're at and you can get right back on track. Or
Exactly.
even if you're playing or doing something, maybe you messed up a note.
Hmm.
Now it's like, oh, but I know the rest of the show. Okay, let me just bring it back.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it gives you the
Exactly.
confidence to just know where you are, know how to get back on track, even if shit's messed up. You know what I'm saying?
It's so funny because
Hold on 1 second. Eric, can you pass me 2 waters?
yeah, water. Water sounds wonderful.
All right.
It's so funny. I'm so used to being on stage
That
that
they already
I
have
was
it.
literally I was about to look at the camera and be like, "Ladies and gentlemen, give him a round of applause."
All right.
You know what? Y'all can still
Give
y'all
him
can
a
still
round
give
of
him a round of
applause for the
applause at home.
water.
Give him a round of
Some
applause for the
ice
water.
cold
Yeah.
water.
Like what if this was just the rest of the show, just slowly drinking water?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
There you
Mhm.
go. Get a nice little guzzle.
Mhm. 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 Water. Kroger brand water. Just did a whole commercial for you guys. Send me a check.
All right.
Yeah.
Not like they needed it, but
Right. Exactly.
but we would like the check anyways.
Absolutely. It's so funny. I actually, I don't think I've talked about this in a public forum yet. There was a project that I put out a couple of years ago. It was an acoustic EP.
Mm-hmm.
I shot and recorded it with some amazing, amazing, amazing human being, first of all, but amazing guitar player, videographer, and everything named Taylor LeBeau.
Mm.
And we did the project, and it was very, very hot that summer. And so, he had the waters on deck and ready to go. And I added it to the actual thing. So every single video in that in the visual EP, the visual aspects of the project has a Kirkland brand water commercial.
For real?
Yeah, and I was like, they're either gonna give us an endorsement or they're gonna sue us. But either way, I want them to know what's going on. Yeah.
Word. Like, come on, hook us up.
Oh, for real. Yeah, Kirkland, if you're watching this, in fact, I'm gonna make sure somebody sends this to you. I would like you all to know that I've used your products and that I have made commercials for you without getting a check. And this is not to say send me a check for those commercials, but if you just want to send me things, I would definitely appreciate it very much. So
I
I
would
feel like I'm
appreciate
doing
it too.
I feel like I'm doing an ASMR video right now.
Right, Kirkland water.
Kirkland brand water.
We were just like a nice little sponsor.
You know,
But Costco got
Costco's good.
Costco got all this good shit. So we would 100% take a fucking Kirkland's
Let me tell you
endorsement
something.
because
Okay, so as time has been timing, as it tends to do, I've lived life and I've discovered several things that I knew not of earlier on in my years. Among those things, is just how amazing Costco is. Like, yo, what? Like,
right.
yo, walking into a Costco is like walking into a commercialized heaven on earth.
Bro, it's a
Like,
whole new world. Dog.
Yo, what? Like, exactly. It's like the amazing things about getting things in bulk. Like, what somebody was thinking. Another thing that I've discovered that I've really loved, that I'm really passionate about now, is Crocs. I really like Crocs a lot. Like, I mean, I don't know what. So my new thing is Docs, Crocs, and socks.
Bong.
And dad hats and hoodies. Send me all the things.
Right.
But like, yeah.
Definitely as I've gotten older, the hoodies and the sweatpants or the cargo pants and these type of shoes like these New Balances,
Gotta let
like
'em
they're
know.
so fucking comfortable.
So
My
comfortable.
toesy woesies are doing their thing.
I'm
You know what I'm
telling
saying?
you,
Like
man.
I just want to be a comfortable man. You know what I'm saying? I just want my clothes to look good on me, and then I want to feel good in the clothes,
feel good
and
in them.
and be just like that. And that's something that I've discovered too with the
Yeah.
hoodies and the dad hats. I kind of, even though the older I get, the less and less I like the cold. When hoodie season is over with, I'm kind of like, I kind of miss the hoodies now.
You know-
I kind of miss them.
And it's so funny because I've been I've been kind of incognito lately because I walk around and people are so used to seeing my chest that like no lie, I went to an event the other night.
Right.
And I went to perform, to make an appearance, and I was tired. I'm not gonna lie, but I was like, I want to do this. I want to be here because they invited me, and it's supposed to be something. And so I went, but I had on a dad hat, hoodie, Crocs, and socks.
Mm-hmm.
And I got there, and they announced my name. And I literally saw people looking around for me. People that I recognize too, like
Right.
people that I know that I've
Like,
known
where's
for
the guy
years.
with the button shirt?
Exactly.
That's the with the buttons that are never buttoned. Where's that guy at?
Right, exactly. That I got on stage and it was like, I hear the voice, but where is he?
Like, hello.
But I don't know. Maybe it's an era for me right now. Maybe I'm in a mode, and it's so weird and ironic too because I've been like consistently losing more weight. I don't know how. I don't know why. It's not. Well, I do know how. It's because I've been so busy that I haven't been eating. That's a whole other thing.
Okay,
Like, don't worry about me, guys. Don't send me a whole bunch of food, or do send me a whole bunch of food. Do that. But
I was gonna say,
like,
that wouldn't be a bad thing.
Yeah. Like, I mean, even more so, like, if you could feed my Cash App. So,
Amen.
but no, like, and the thing is, you'd think, okay, cool, this is like dropping off of me. So naturally, I should be
Wanting to
more
wear more opens.
shirtless. But what's crazy about it is, like, the more weight I've lost, the more I've been wanting to wear sweats.
Yeah.
like, and I like the XLs and the XXLs, like the super baggy hoodies too. Like, not, I'm not even
Yeah.
like a tight hoodie. Like, no, like
Nah, me neither.
let me
I
have
like
some
this is a
room in
little
my
bit.
joint. You know?
You know what I'm saying? Like one of those grandmas with the arm joint, them aunties.
Exactly.
I need that, and I'm so small that a large will do it for me. So like,
Yeah.
that's what I need.
Man, yeah. But
No,
man,
but that's all right, man. You know, we all go through stages. You know,
yeah.
it's all good. We don't gotta look the same every time,
I'm
and
going through changes.
indeed. So you know what? Let's talk about one of the talking points. You should probably hold
Yeah.
up that little ticket you got there.
This thing here,
Uh
this
huh.
little piece of shiny material that, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
put it on my forehead. This is where we're at with it.
All right.
This is how I'm gonna walk around town from now on, guys. Just like, if you see me in the streets, this is how you'll know it's me.
Right.
Just like, hello, I'll take a number one. Like, this is the whole thing.
Gotta let them know. Walk
Yo, all
around like
right.
this is me.
I'm gonna be 110,000% raw, real. It's happening right now. In fact, you know what? As I say this, I'm gonna hold this piece of material.
Hold on. You should be. You remember that Ray J interview where like his hat kept changing? Like it would go to him and then his hat would be So like every time I change the frame and change it back to you, the American Idol thing needs to be in a new position. Yeah, there you go. Okay, hold on, I'm about to change it. And then let's go back, new position, bang. But okay, you was about to get real. You said you about to
Yo.
get real, rap bro. Go ahead.
All right, guys. So, all right, everybody that's watching this. This is us. We're here right now. Um, so last year I got a phone call. I got a call to do this television show, and I said specifically to myself at a certain point in time after I did the 4 on Fox years ago that I didn't want to do any more competition television shows. When I got the phone call, they pitched it to me and they were like, yeah, we'd love to have you. Love to have you come and do some original music and all the other things like that. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit because a whole lot happened. I my mindset about the next year completely shifted because this all happened when I was at a point where I didn't know what I was doing from that point forward. Like, I had just come off of a year where I'd released a whole bunch of music. I'd gone on tour for the first time. My mom had just passed, and I was trying to do something to make her proud, but I had pretty much just put everything out there and I didn't have anything left, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And so this came and it became a catalyst for a lot of things. Like, I started getting motivated again. I started doing things that I had stopped doing. And fast forward, we get there. I get on set, and I'm around all these amazingly talented people with, and then I'm there with the goal just to show who I am, just to show my artistry, just to be able to get my redemption moment on television, because the first thing that I did, it opened a lot of doors for me and it did a whole lot. But at the end of the day, um, afterwards, I walked away from it thinking, what if I had done XYZ? I went on there, I sang a cover of a song that I didn't know well. And the performance of it, a lot of people enjoyed it, but it wasn't my best performance in my mind. And I went on there, I didn't play any instruments. I didn't really move as much as I wanted to. I tossed a mic stand and all that other stuff like that. It was a whole thing. But if you haven't seen it, I'm not telling you to go watch it, but if you want to, sure.
Yeah, check it out.
um, anyway, but yeah, so all of this, I'm in this place. I'm not expecting to move forward. I'm expecting to just go in there, do my thing, and then they say thank you for coming in. Have a good time with the rest of your career. I walked in there, and I got in there, and I told them what I want to do. I said I want to sell out stadiums. I want to travel the world, and be in front of people on stages everywhere. And they were like, "Yeah, this is the place where this happens." Katie was asking me. She said, "So you're? It says here that you're a professional recording artist. Does that mean you write and create songs and then get paid to perform them?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm here to get paid a lot more." Like
Mm-hmm.
I had in my mind, "Oh no alarm, no, you do not get to." Anyway, so I did all of that, and then um I sat down at the piano. I sang an original song, a song of mine, "Free."
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when I looked up, when I stood up, I had a standing ovation from all three judges, and Lionel essentially said all I needed was for people to see me. I didn't even need to be on the show, but if there was anything that they could do about it, they were going to make sure that all the things that I said I wanted to happen were going to happen, like selling out stadiums and all that stuff. Katy Perry was asking me where she could listen to my music, which is dope. It's such a dope
Hell
thing.
yeah.
And Luke Bryan, he was asking me, why I wasn't signed already, and I was like, it just hadn't been the right time yet, or it hadn't been the right situation. And so essentially, that moment, particularly the moment when after all of that, they, looked at me and they were like, "You're going to Hollywood. Here's a golden
Here's
ticket."
a golden ticket.
Particularly in that moment, um, I my mindset shifted even further. I was like, well, what if I do go all the way? Fast forward again. Uh, More time has happened. Life has lifed. I pretty much shut down my whole life because I was like, I'm gonna make sure that in doing American Idol, that once this whole thing airs and all of that stuff, you know, I'm gonna go for it the way Lionel said it. That said that I could. I'm gonna start getting prepared to travel the world and do releases and things of that nature. And people from around the world are gonna see me on television, and so it'll make it a whole lot easier to do that. So Hollywood Week came, and I met all these amazingly talented people, wonderful people, these like just genuine souls that I will have in my life for the rest of it. Um, and I met all these people and connected with all these people, and we got a chance to go up there and perform once again for Lionel, Luke, and Katie, and also a group of our peers, like 150, some of the most talented people I've ever met in my life. Um, and I got up there, I did the thing. In the first audition, they said the only thing they would say they wanted to hear more. They wanted to hear more of like, wanted to hear me stretch out. So I was like, all right, cool. And so I got there and I stretched out. I did another original song called Muse.
Mm.
That one's coming out soon.
Yoga stretch.
Yoga stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously. I did that, and then afterwards, I can talk about it now because the episodes are already out. Afterwards, I went home like 15 minutes up the street. But yeah, so afterwards, I went home, and then some of my friends went forward in the thing, and it was top 57. And I actually was there for the whole process too. I actually went to the taping of the showstopper rounds and all that other stuff as well. And I walked out of that whole situation thinking, number one, like I it definitely gave me something that I'm gonna take with me for the rest of my life. Like I felt a sense of healing. I felt like there was a part of me that had been gone since my mom had passed that I finally got a chance to um to feel again, you know. But not only that, you know, I was like, well, regardless of what happens, I know I came and I did exactly what I said I wanted to do
Hmm.
on that stage and in that room and everything like that. And so, no matter what happens, I mean, my next television appearance is going to be what I set out for it to be.
Hmm.
And so, fast forward again, February comes around and it's about that time for stuff to start airing. And
Talk
February,
about it. Talk about
by
it.
February, like, so I'd already started making the announcements and all that stuff. And then I had just finished coming off of this run, did this crazy show in Atlanta with my people, Willie Hen, shout out to you, and the rest of the crew. And then I went from that, started preparing for the NAM show. I remember around the time I was traveling back and forth for Idol stuff, right before I got on the plane, I got an email with an offer to close out the main stage at the NAM show.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, we're about to go all in. We're about to make this a thing. And I called like all of my dopest friends and like the entire list of people that we had, including our guests and everybody like on staff and band, dancers, singers, everybody. It was like 79 people total.
Sheesh.
Like I sent in 79 email addresses.
So y'all got you had a fully
I
funded show
I
that
had
you
a
could stack out.
squad, and
Yeah.
it was not fully funded. I wish
Oh, okay.
it should have been.
Oh, so you just had to break up them funds to make that shit happen. You
What's
just had to.
crazy, and you know, and I'm saying this not to have people reach out to do this again in the same way, but just so that you all know what we do here. Like at base market rate, I calculated all the numbers. We did what would have been a $40,000 show. Not even talking about marketing and staging and all that, just the core of the show, all the band, all the staff, all the, you know, choreographers, like dancers, everything. We did at minimum what would have been a $40,000 show
Mm.
basically for free.
Yikes.
Flew people out, put people up in hotels.
Oh, so you spent
Um,
some bread.
And super shout out to Jade Solutions and to Find Your Anchor and to Offstream for, you know, like sponsoring and giving us places to rehearse and places to lay our heads and everything like that as we went through this process. But like we did all of that. It was crazy. I'm working on a documentary right now about the experience. It was pretty bonkers and mind blowing.
That's cool.
Um but yeah, so came off of that in the same week I played at a Grammy event put on by the Recording Academy with one of my closest friends, Coco Sarai, and a bunch of my friends on stage. Um, in fact, half of the band was actually half of the band for Coco. We were all coming from doing NAM together too. And so, you know, I got my first Getty Images picture out there,
Hey.
blue check Eddie with the Getty. Um,
Okay. Another
did
bar.
some red carpeting and all the other things like that. Um, and so after all of that, I was like, okay, cool. So next thing that's coming up is American Idol. Let's get prepared. And so I got prepared and all the other things like that. And then it was time for the premiere episode to air. And I was told, oh yeah, no, you won't be on the premiere episode, but stay tuned. We're gonna let you know when you're gonna be premiering. It'll be like, we'll let you know within a week and a half or something like that. First episode comes on, and I'm so excited because I'm like, okay, it's about that time. I see my face, I see a little glimpse of it. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. They showed me dancing with the golden ticket. It was a whole thing, and then I saw my friends go up there and kill it, and do absolutely amazing things. And I was like, okay, dope. This is a cool vibe, And I posted a little snippet of my face being shown on the thing. I'm like, yeah. So here we are. Then second episode comes out, and I'm seeing more of my friends up there. I'm like, oh yeah, this is really, really dope. Third episode comes out. I'm like,
Hmm.
I haven't heard anything about when I'm getting aired on this part of the show. Okay.
Right.
And so I'm like, talking back and forth with publicists, with the social media team, with the lawyers, everything. Like just keeping everybody. I'm like, I'm over here acting like they work for me. I'm like, all right, cool. So guys, let's be ready. So I mean, this is about to be a crazy thing for all of us, and I appreciate you all for being on the squad. Like, hey, so we're gonna move in this direction and we're gonna get this together. I've gone ahead and set this up so that once the thing airs, we can get right on it and da 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 da. And they're indulging me in this, dude. They're like, yeah, of course, we got you.
Yeah, sure, man. Go,
Yeah,
we'll look that right up for you, bud.
Yeah, exactly. I'm over here. I'm like, all right, we got all the things moving. And then the fifth episode airs. The fifth episode is the final episode for auditions. And I'm like, okay. I was not on that episode. So then it was I got a message, giving me the go ahead to talk about what happened in the audition round and everything like that, because it wasn't airing on the show, like the actual audition itself. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I mean, like, the first episode was really going to be like, the one that really did the things for me, but that's okay. That's okay. We still got the second episode, and I did a thing there too. And then on top of that, like everything that happened during Hollywood Week, because there were cameras everywhere. Like, they were filming everything, mic'd us up. They had a camera in my face, actually, during the Idol Arena, a camera in my face and a mic on my lapel, like for a majority of the time that we were shooting.
So they was like, capturing everything.
Yeah,
they had all your shit.
Exactly. And so I was like, if at the very least, if my performance doesn't air, they're gonna have me all up and through there with my reactions and all the other things like that. And so then we get the news about Hollywood Week. And Hollywood Week, they're showing Hollywood Week, and they're showing Top 57, the Showstoppers, in 2 episodes.
Yay.
And I'm sitting there like 150, I'm over here doing math. I'm like 150 people.
The math not mathing, bruv.
In
How you gonna do that?
Episodes. How And the thing about it is, among those 150 people, everybody got up there and smacked. Like, super smacked. I mean, like, otherworldly levels of smack. Like, God. There are some people, Roman Collins, some of you all may have seen a piece of his performance on the show. There's something that they didn't show on TV that happened. He did this one run. It was like this dissonant chromatic joint. And this man is over here singing John Mayer. He's singing Gravity, playing keys and singing.
Shit.
He did something, and I was like, yo, what? And I literally, and the thing is, camera in my face. I like fell down on the bleachers. I was like, oh, it was a whole thing. And overloaded. I mean, like, the levels of talent, it's just crazy to be in that room. And then I was, after all of that, here we are, fast forward in March, and in April, well, coming up on April at that time, And it was like, yeah, tune in for Hollywood Week, 2 episodes. It's like, what does that mean? And then, the group chat was going crazy. Like group chats go, everybody's like, well, I guess I did this all for nothing. And I'm trying to get my resources and everything, because I want us
Yeah.
all to win. I want us all to,
Right.
I want to see us all get to where we need to go in our lives and careers, and make the most of this whole situation. And yeah, but the episodes aired, and I was so proud of everybody. But then, then the thought process became, so what do I do? Because I've been promoting this thing. I've been
Right.
putting this on my page.
And you're not seen in
I
a
have
single
it.
episode.
I have
It's
it in
like,
my bio. I have it in my new bio now. Well, I have it in my Instagram bio, but I also have it like on my EPK.
right.
I'm like, all right. So, and what it did, it just made it so that like I have so much more work to do than I was planning on doing. Which, I in the beginning I was like, yeah, we're in there though. We're figuring it out. We're gonna make it all happen. But then
Right.
also, and this is the part where I was like, I'm gonna boom. Sorry. This is the part where I was saying I'm gonna be real with you guys. This is really weird and really interesting. And it's like, I feel like the work that was put in to make this happen, and to get to this point, I feel like I pretty much have to do it all over again just to make it make sense. You know, I wasn't expecting that. And of course, because I've been on the other side of things, like with film editing and all this other stuff like that, I understand there are a lot of things that I've edited where some of the best stuff gets cut out because there's a certain story I'm trying to tell, and so I understand how that goes. But also, it's like, I don't know, man. It feels weird.
Nah, I could understand what you're saying, because especially when you get a certain feedback and a certain experience while you're there, and
Yeah.
you think something's going to go a certain way. And I'm also the type of person, I know how people handle people, because they are running a business, so they
Yeah.
don't want to say to somebody outright or upfront like, hey man, I know you thought that performance was great, but we're not going to put it in. Or, hey man, like, you just spent a lot of money to make sure you were here in order to do this thing, but we're not going to show you.
Yo.
Like, it's very difficult. But for me, I would
Yeah.
like to know something. Like,
Right.
you're telling me, look out for this, bro. You're not gonna be in the first one, but just look out for next week. Hey man, look out for the next one, bro, because we da 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 da. Okay, you're not gonna be in this one, and it's like you're hyping up my
Yeah.
emotions. You're telling me things, and then you have me watching and promoting you
Yeah.
for free. Like, I'm giving my time and energy to this because I'm thinking that all the time and energy that I gave y'all is going to be rewarded by y'all. But then time goes on and nothing happens. And I poured so much into this, especially from you saying,
Yeah.
I even said I wasn't going to do this type of shit no more. You know what I'm saying? And I'm here again, and
Yeah.
still not seeing the benefits of it.
And okay, so all right, okay, I'm gonna zip a
Reel it
little
back a
bit,
bit.
because I by no means want there to be a thought that there's any like bitterness or anything like that behind the whole thing. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
at the end of the day, like if none of it was aired. If they were like, right before the first episode aired, they just canceled the whole thing or something like that. I like, and nothing showed up on television. Even still, the time that I spent there and the people that I was around and the experiences that I had, like, I wouldn't trade that for anything. Like, my life has significantly changed since those moments, and I'll forever be grateful for it. I I don't know. It's just like you said. I literally said, I'm not doing these things anymore. I said that I wanted my next television appearance to be a presentation rather than an audition. And in some ways, with what I did, it was gonna be that. It was an audition, but it was an audition that was me presenting who I am as an artist,
Right.
in a way that I hadn't gotten a chance to before.
These type of things, though, because lately more and more, um, I've always wanted to have, as an artist, this sense of independence, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the more in my time I see the way the industry is going, the more I realize like you kind of have to really have some sense of independence.
Yeah.
Even if you're signed to a record label, like you've got to have some shit set up for you to make sure you good. And we live in a time period now where it's feasible because you have a lot more information and you have a lot more access to things that were once hard to have access to. And I think one of these, hearing a story like this and hearing other stories, it just lets me know, and I think probably you as well, it's shown you the like, I just really got to take this thing by the reins and go as hard as I can on my own, because that's the
Yeah.
only way that this thing is gonna happen. And
Yeah.
I gotta, you probably, like, you going there now, you probably learned some things, seeing how things work, seeing how what went into certain business, or even the connections that you probably made. Now it's time to be like, okay, cool, what am I gonna do from here? There are so many
You
artists
know?
now that are like, that are, because even things like Spotify, as good of a tool as like even the streaming services have been, but even they're taking advantage, So
Oh yeah.
people are finding ways to even, I guess, not be independent of them, but like, let's say tomorrow Spotify crashes, or Spotify decides to not be a business or gets sold off or something like that, then what are you
Right.
going to do?
Right.
You've been relying on Spotify, or have you built up your own thing? Do you have your own website? Do you still have all of your, because some people might have uploaded shit that they don't even have the files for anymore, or
Right,
whatever. It's
yeah.
like, did you build up a website where you put all your stuff on, or a Patreon, or a, whatever, to make sure that you're good and that you have your own base
Mm-hmm.
that people can always come back to? And
Yeah.
I think that just hearing these type of stories, it just always brings me back to that. And it's like, okay, I gotta like double, triple, quadruple down on making sure that all of my things are in order,
Mm-hmm.
so that like I say, even if I am signed, or even, because I've seen some artists, or one in particular, who took all their stuff off of Spotify, who's like, I don't think you need to go that extreme, but even then, they're selling their albums on their websites and making money and doing things. So if anything ever happens, they're ready. You know what I'm saying? Because they made sure that they've set up everything they need for themselves to be ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Speaking of which, so okay, so I definitely wanted to make sure I got my my moment of vulnerability out.
Oh yeah.
Just because, like, at the end of the day, this is a life that I'm living, and I have brought all these people on this journey with me, and so I feel like It's a sort of responsibility for me to be able to be transparent, you know, in certain regards. But then also, it's about to get crazy.
Uh-huh.
No, like seriously. So I said everything about, I feel like there's all this work that I have to do. And I mean, I've always had to do a whole lot of work, but we're working.
Uh-huh.
We are working in a
Let them
major
know.
way.
Let them
Like
know.
there are a lot of partnerships, a lot of things have. In fact, a lot of it that came from Nam, and and now with Idol, there's some things that are showing up as well. Because I mean, at the end of the day, like this thing right here, All right, this year alone, there were 60,000 people that wanted to be on this show. Of those 60,000 people, 300 of them got a chance to, go in front of Lionel, Luke, and Katie and do an audition. And of those 300 people, 150 of those people walked away with one of these. So I mean, I did a thing. I can say and I'm a part of a very wonderful number of people.
Yeah.
And like knowing the company that I was in, I feel comfortable in knowing that it meant something.
60,000's a lot of people.
Sixty
I didn't
thousand is a
think that
lot of
many people
people.
still audition for American Idol,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, 60,000, 60,000 people. Of 60,000 people, I was a part of a crew of 150 people that sat in an arena that they built in an airport hangar, like,
That's crazy.
and sang in front of the. So all that to say, um, you know, things, and it is what it is.
They do
But
be thinking.
also, right, but also, we got some stuff coming, and so this is the part where we're here, right? And everybody who's watching this, and this goes not only for me, but for if you know anybody else who auditioned for the show, anybody who made it through, anything like that. These are the people that I spent time around, and I know just how talented and how wonderful and how great they are. Support them, support me, but support them. Like,
Right.
no, seriously, like a lot of them have music out. A lot of them have released music since Idol started. A lot of them are doing shows and performing. A lot of them are, there were a lot of people who this is like the first time they were in something of this magnitude in their journey. Like, let them know that it means something because they deserve it, because they put in the work. We sat there for so long. We were in these rooms together for so long. I watched so many people go through so much stuff, like just mentally, spiritually, all of that, so that they could be prepared to present something in front of, an audience of millions of people. And
Right.
so they are all very, very deserving of that. But also, all right, so yo, I'm trying to travel the world. I want to travel the world. I want to still do the things that I said that I wanted to do when I was talking to Lionel, Luke, and Katie. I said I want to travel the world, sell out stadiums, and so it's time to start building towards that. Like, it's go time, and I like me and the team have been working really hard, but we could also use all the help we can get. So I'm calling y'all to rally up and make this thing something bigger than it could be otherwise. And so that's my little spiel. Thank you for coming to my TED
Absolutely.
talk.
Absolutely. What are some things like as an artist who's
Yeah.
done a lot
Mm-hmm.
on your own, even as uh being on the four or the uh on American Idol, being on the four, you've still done a whole lot on your own. Like, I mean, you're writing all this stuff, you're producing, you're editing, you're filming, you're all these different things. So what resources, what like what are some things that help you as someone being independent, someone who does a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
you know, yeah, just what are some of the resources that help you and to possibly help other independents do they thing as you doing your
Yeah.
thing?
So okay, to all of my independent artists that are watching this right now, let's do this.
Get in there.
I'm gonna give you guys some cheat codes. IndieOnTheMove.com. That's one of those cheat codes. So Indie on the Move is a site you can find venues. Pretty much, you put in like where, like the city, state, all that other stuff like that. You can search by the size of the venue, or like the rating of the venue, things of that nature. You can find venues, you can find colleges, all that other stuff like that on Indie on the Move. And they have specific like booking instructions, contact information, websites, pictures, videos, all that other stuff like that. Also, they have an entire list of resources to contact like media, press, and all that in different cities. They have it regionally, they have it nationally, all that other stuff like that. Indie on the Move is going to be your best friend in so many areas. Also, another best friend of yours, ChatGPT.
Chat GPT, my nigga.
Chat
Yeah.
GPT. Especially if you're doing it on your own now, Chat GPT can sound like Chat GPT sometimes. So you definitely have to go in there and make some edits and stuff like that. But a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
like stuff like press releases and like bios and certain emails. You can literally take an email. You can take an email, guys. I hope you're watching and paying attention to the things that I'm saying as I'm saying this and taking notes, because I did the same thing. What you can do with ChatGPT is you can create a character, and the character could be somebody like full name, backstory, everything like that. Um, and that character can be a publicist, a lawyer,
Hmm.
booking agent, manager, talent buyer, all the things like that. You have this character, and then you get these emails and things like that, and then you input from you copy and paste from the email into ChatGPT and say respond as XYZ character, and it will respond as if it's the person that's fulfilling the role that you're looking for. And then, of course, proofread it and make sure it's cool and everything like that. You can shoot that out, and it helps in making sure it doesn't sound like your voice as you're responding to it. Of course, and then also if you know that it's not your strong suit, like writing long emails or responding to things and all that, like that's a good. And then you can even ask it like, how much should I charge for da 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 da, or how much. It's a wealth of information. Chat GPT is another really great friend of yours.
Absolutely. I think speaking on that, I
Mm.
forgot who the fuck it was. There was some actor or artist or somebody who said that they used to message people as somebody else, like as if they were the manager, but it was really them.
Mm-hmm.
So they would like someone to message, hey, I want to book such and such for this. And it comes to their email and they
Mm-hmm.
would say, yeah, this is Adam here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would love to get Jenny on a tour with you guys. Da 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 da
Yeah,
da.
that's a like
Yeah.
until you have somebody, because okay, and so for people who aren't involved in like industry stuff, I'll explain why that's important. Also, I'll explain why it's important to people who are involved, because the thing is, particularly as an artist, if people are reaching out to you directly as the artist, a lot of times they know how much artists want to do what they're doing. Like they know how hungry an artist can
Exactly.
be. And so a lot of times they'll say, yeah, there's no budget here, but there's exposure. And, an artist will say, well, exposure feeds my soul. But if you have somebody working for you, they'll be like, but it's not feeding me. Like, it's not putting
Exactly.
food on my table. And so they're going to have the idea in their mind, like, no, exposure is cool. We need to also be exposed to some funds that can help us put this thing together the way that you want it to happen. Because none of this stuff is free, particularly like doing something on a high level, making sure that your show is together, making sure that all the people are in place and they know what to do, how to do it at the level that you want it to be done. Like, no, there can be no, when people are being paid what they're supposed to be getting paid. I mean, there shouldn't be any excuses. If you agree to do something, regardless, there shouldn't be any excuses behind it. It's like you come to bring excellence to the table. But when people also have something contributing to their livelihood, they have more of um of a motivation to get it done and get it done like a certain
Absolutely.
kind of way, the right way.
It's an incentive for people to really to push for the things that you want to get done. And if they're
Exactly.
helping you and you're helping them, then it's just a cycle of people feeding into each other. And of course they would want to like participate in
Yeah.
that. But yeah, guys, like Chat GPT for because I know I'm not great at email stuff. I'm not great at like, bios. Like I always am like, well, what the fuck do I say? I can say a million things and how do I put it? But yeah,
Hmm.
you can say put stuff in Chat GPT. It does cost, but
Oh yeah, if you get
but
if you get the upgraded version of it, and I was talking about even just the free
just
version
the
of it.
free version,
But
okay.
like if you put some money into it, then you're gonna get an even better experience. And
Absolutely.
then I got
Does Indie on the Move cost?
Indie on the Move does cost. I believe their basic package is $11.99 right now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of which, all right, so I'll give you all. So that's two. I'll give you all three more resources. All right, because I want to see everybody win. Like we're in this together. There's nobody. Like I don't believe in the to be great somebody else has to be less than. I believe
Absolutely
that
not.
like greatness can coexist. So let's get these wins together. All right. So three more resources. Festivalnet.com. Festivalnet.com is a resource where you can go on there, and the way that Indie on the Move has all these venues and everything like that, FestivalNet has festivals, conferences, and other things like that are actively looking for, specifically, a lot of times looking for independent acts and looking
Mm-hmm.
for artists that are submitting packages and things of that nature. Like, because there are a lot of festivals out there. Unless you're reaching out through a booking agent or something like that, they're not taking any submissions or any of that stuff like that. And so, cold emailing them doesn't really get you anywhere. But on FestivalNet, you'll find a lot of like local festivals and sometimes regional, national festivals that are looking for independent artists and looking for people who may not have representation, or looking for people who are gonna send that cold email, or they'll even have some applications online and things like that you send in. FestivalNet has gotten me some really, really, really cool bookings.
Yeah,
And
that sounds
so,
cool.
yeah, FestivalNet is
Is
dope.
that one also paid?
That one is also paid. And it's not even a lot. Well, okay, so it's paid same way Indie on the Move is. So Indie on the Move also, it has a free version of it, but like that's if you want to just search up venues, if you want to look for, an area and see what's in the area. But to see contact information and booking stuff, like the booking guidelines for each place, you have to pay for it.
Right.
Same thing with FestivalNet. That's same thing. Another resource that super clutch, Indie Bible. So Indie Bible is a resource, um, and they have the so as you may notice in a lot of the things that I'm mentioning, a lot of these are contact based because most of your work in the industry, as much as it's the music industry, so you think, oh yeah, all my work is gonna be making these songs, and no, 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 no. The real work starts when it's time to, because the thing about it is, if a tree falls in the woods and nobody's there to hear it, it's like a tree never fell, you know? Like,
Exactly.
yeah, but the thing is, in this thing, you can make the most amazing. In fact, I've seen people make some of the most amazing music you'll ever hear that nobody hears.
We know a lot of them.
We know a lot of them, a
Yeah.
whole lot of
I
them.
mean, shit. I'm not that well known either. So,
You know?
we're all still trying to get our shit out there. But yes,
Exactly.
so it's to what you're saying. A lot of these people, you got to know where to go in
Exactly.
order to be heard or seen, because
Yeah.
performing is you know what, it's a fun and cool thing that a lot of musicians like to do, but it's your marketing essentially too. It's
Yeah.
what the people, it's how a lot of people will first engage with you that
Mm.
don't know you besides the internet, like probably seeing
Especially.
you online. But yeah,
Yeah.
they'll see you first on stage, and that's your marketing. That's you getting yourself out there.
Yeah. Stage, social media, and particularly, I'll get to that in a second. That social media stuff, guys, it's a lot. But yeah, like especially as an independent artist that isn't backed by like a major budget,
Right.
like these are resources that, like, if you're paying out of pocket like $150 a month, that $150 can turn over a whole lot if you're working it like a 9 to 5. You know, if you're waking up, you're sending out emails, and you're, like, so you've got the music done, you've got the cover art done, you've got the videos, you got everything like that. Now it's, what do I do after this? So yeah, so we said, uh, Indie on the Move,
Indie Bible was the one you were on.
Chat GPT, yeah, yep. Um, Indie Bible. Indie Bible is another one of those that has resources, contact information. There are even some educational portions of Indie Bible in there as well. But essentially, like booking agents, publicists, even lists of websites you can that do specific things, and then people who review independent music specifically, like they have lists of those emails, phone numbers, contact information, all there in the Indie Bible. It's very, 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 very clutch, and like I've seen some amazing things come from that as well. Um, and honorable mention, Christine Morel. She also has a resource that has a lot of contacts in there as well for booking events and things of that nature. So shout out to you, Christine. Um, and then let's see. Okay, and then what was the one that I was gonna? Okay, so we said Chat GPT. We said
Indie on the
Indie on the
Move,
Move,
Festival Net.
Festival Net, Indie Bible. Um, what's another one? What's another? Well, I mean, okay. You know what? I'll take this time to talk about social media. Right.
Right.
So, one of the things that has been very beneficial, everything is content. Everything is content.
Fucking exactly.
And not only that, but like your content doesn't have to be specifically your music. In fact, actually, even more so. So what somebody told me in a meeting, I was in a meeting with an A&R, so like sometime around the end of last year, and I'm not even gonna get into that. It was very interesting, but there were some things in it that really stuck with me. One of those things that stuck with me was that at that time, people like just first glance looking at my page, people that come to my page can see what I do. They could see like who I am as a musician, as an artist, you know, like what I look like on stage and everything like that. But they didn't know who I was as a person.
Mm.
And the thing about it is, people will invest in who you are. People will invest in your personality. People will buy your music and listen to your music and get your merch without even hearing it or seeing it if they want to support you as a person.
Absolutely.
Like it's a whole thing. And then once they realize, oh, this is actually dope. This is actually something that I enjoy, then that's how you get a fan.
That's something I've been learning too, which is the reason why I started doing the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
because I I heard people say a lot like everything is content. Like don't even think too hard about it. Like if you're having a conversation, take note of what the conversation was, and then like turn on your phone and was like, I was talking to my friend the other day and we were thinking about yada yada yada, or
Yeah.
somebody's dancing or something. Just take out your phone and start, recording you dancing with that person, or you
Yeah.
just bought a new fucking shirt. It doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah.
put that out. And I was like, cool. So the way that I operate, I am bad at recording myself.
Me too.
I am horrible
I'm
at
so
recording
mad at
myself.
it.
It's it's not good. It's not good. I have shows. I do things like, even like most of the stuff I've done with Stokely, I'll walk away and be like, fuck, I forgot to record this, and I forgot to take a picture with this guy, and I forgot to,
Man, yeah.
whatever. And so I was like, okay, what's something that I know that can be content that is not my music or that is not me performing, that
Mm-hmm.
I can chop it up into as many fucking clips as I want to, and people get to know me. And
Yeah.
I can also either introduce people to great musicians I know, or just have cool conversations with people that I think are cool,
Yeah.
which is where I think I thrive the most,
Yeah.
is these one-on-one conversations with people. Because like I said, I'm not like a extroverted, like outgoing, super like hype type of person. So I know that whenever I'm sitting next to someone, I can have a good conversation and we can
Yeah.
thrive and it'll be beneficial for everyone. So I was like, a podcast is,
Yeah.
and I know that people been flooding the streets with fucking podcasts,
That's true.
but I've been listening to podcasts since like 2015. I
Mm-hmm.
did a podcast with my homie in like 2016, 17, but
Yeah.
like then I think I did another one with somebody. So I was like, okay, like I kind of know how to do this.
Yeah.
So this is another thing where people can get to know me. And whenever I fuck up in remembering to record some shit or
Uh-huh.
do whatever, then it's like, whatever. I got a bunch of podcast clips. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm also starting to do like, I don't want to call it a video essay, but like those style of videos where it's just
Yeah.
me talking to a camera in my room or some shit, and like
Yeah.
my thoughts on something, where it's like, hey
Yeah.
man, like I was, thinking about yada yada yada, and these are my thoughts, and I'm just spilling it out to the camera so that
Mm-hmm.
I can create that content, but it's in a way where I like I said, because I'm bad at recording myself, it's like now I'm recording myself. You know what I'm saying? I can't forget to record this because I turned the camera on and I started talking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm editing it, and people get to see a side of me that they
Yeah.
don't get to see if they're just watching my fucking music or my
Exactly.
performances, and then they get how I think why that's such a great strategy is you find people that fuck with you
Yeah,
for
exactly.
you. So now you
Ooh.
create the culture.
That's
You
such
create
a
a
cheat code.
culture of people
Yeah.
who fuck with you, and they're on the same type of time as you.
Like-minded.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now you actually have fans you want. Because I feel like a lot of people have fans they don't want.
Chasing
You
after
know what I'm
fan.
saying?
Oh, that's such a thing. Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
such a thing. I wish I would. Ooh, I wish somebody would have told me. I wish somebody would have told me 10 years ago that you will waste so much time chasing people that are not meant for you. You will waste so much time. I'm going to say it again.
Say it
Chasing
again.
people that are not meant for you. And the thing is, I had to get out of the mindset that I was trying to reach everybody in the world, because there are people
Right.
in the day that I realized there are people in this world that don't like music. There are people in this world that don't like the sound of breathing in general. There are people
Right.
in this world that will stay out of the sun intentionally for their entire lives. And then there are also people who will literally only exist if they have sunlight.
Right.
And the thing about it is, you're not going to convince the person who wants to be in the sun to be inside all day, every day for the rest of their lives. Neither are you going to convince that person from the inside, unless it's something that they want to do and their seed is planted. But if you spend all of your life and all of your time trying to get that person that wants to be inside to go outside, you might even be able to get them from the inside to the outside. But at some point in time, they're going to be like, this sun is too much.
It's too much. See, I keep saying this every podcast. I'm going to fucking make the soundboard tonight
Yeah.
with the church organs, because every
for
time
real.
someone preaches, I'll be like, man, I just want to hit that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Say it again, say it again.
Man,
He said you can't convince everybody
like,
to fuck with you.
literally everybody is not going to be your fan. And
Absolutely
that
not.
is okay. Be okay
Absolutely
with
not.
that thought, because the day that you're okay with that thought, it'll give you the time and the space and the freedom to nurture and to care for the people who actually do want to see you succeed. And then check this out. Then there are the people that will jump on the bandwagon once they see the people that want to see you succeed pushing you forward. It's so crazy. There was actually a marketing class that I took some years ago. I can't remember the exact names of each of these groups of people, but there are, I think, like 4 groups of people. There are the people who want to catch a trend as it's happening, like, or before it's happening. You know, they want to be the one that can say, "Oh, I discovered this." And then there are the people who see a trend as it's in its budding stages, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, this is something that's happening right now. I want to know what's going on. I want to jump on it." And then there are the people who want to wait and see if that thing that, you know, started is gonna be anything, and they won't start supporting it until they see a lot of people supporting
Right.
it. And then there is a group of people who will specifically not support it at all, like, especially once they see it start to grow, until it gets to a certain point, and it's like inescapable.
Yeah.
And the way to catch all those people, or to catch as many of those people as you can, is to focus on this group, because this group of people, without that group of people, none of the rest of them are going to be there. That group of people, they're the ones that want to invest. They're the ones that want to push forward. They're the ones that want to share. They're the ones that get these people over here to say, okay, a whole bunch of people said that this is something cool. Maybe it might be.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. You got to get that core. By the way, I just found this.
Come on now. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. You can't go around chasing people that don't want to be your people. Yeah. You gotta find the people.
Find the people.
Gotta find the people
Find the people.
that want to be your people. Because otherwise, you're just gonna be running around in circles. You ain't gonna get nothing done. And you just... you're just gonna be hurting yourself on the inside and the outside. You know what it's like to put in so much work for nothing to happen. That's what you're doing when you're chasing the people that don't want to be chased.
Don't chase. Just give grace.
Exactly. Like, seriously, everybody that's watching right now, like, I mean, and this can even bleed over into like just regular life. There are gonna be people in your life, people in your career, for my artists and entrepreneurs and things. There are gonna be people that see what you're doing and they believe in you and they really want to see you succeed. And those are the people to nurture. Those are the people to, like, grow with and everything like that. Everybody else, don't worry about it. If somebody says that they don't like what you do, let them. Let them
Exactly.
not like it, because at the end of the day, you didn't make it for them. You
Absolutely
didn't
not.
make it for them. You made it for the people who will hear it and realize that that's the thing that they've been trying to hear their entire lives, and you just brought it to them.
Yeah, man. And there's so many people that, like, because they look at other artists or other people that have a large following or group or whatever, right? But I don't think they realize their blessing is in them small groups. It may
Yes.
be small, but it's concentrated. And if you have the quality, you can be
Yes.
rich off of them. You can be rich off of them small core groups of people that really love and enjoy what you do. They will
Yeah.
pop out. They will support. They will listen. They will buy whatever. Man, you could tell them, I'm going to fucking Italy. Them motherfuckers
they
will
will
go
fly.
to Italy. Like,
And,
it's crazy.
And with consistency, growth will come. Just like planting a tree or anything of that nature. If you plant a seed for a tree, and you keep watering that tree is going to grow. That tree is going to be nurtured. That tree is going to become like something far bigger than it ever could have been otherwise. But if you plant that seed and then you just let it sit there and you walk away because you don't see that tree starting to grow immediately, you're gonna let it die.
All right, what the fuck? Like, you're fucking yourself up when you do that.
Yeah.
I just released this song for everybody that want to go stream it. It's called "Baby Come On," and in that song, a part of the verse was like, I was talking about communicating with my partner, but you can utilize this for anybody. Where it's like, some things aren't always gonna be as easy. Believe me, patience is the virtue that you need in. Because turbulence can make a ship feel like it's sinking. But we building a dream team, and as small as it may seem, a seed has all it needs to be a tree. So you just gotta, if you don't nurture the seed or the thing that it needs, it will never become. It already has it. It already has everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, wait, run that back. Run
Hold
that
on,
back.
one more time. Wait, hold on.
Run that back for the people in the back.
I said, we building a dream team. And as small as it may seem, a seed has all it needs to be a tree. All you gotta do is feed it. Feed it what it needs.
Yep.
And it will become that tree.
Yep.
From small things. Make great things. It just needs time. And you gotta give it time.
Speak on it,
And
Doc.
patience. And love. And nurture. And all things
Yep.
shall come to pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lord.
See, the preacher's kid in me right now.
I know, right? I'm not even a preacher's kid. Just being in church for a good portion of my life.
Yeah,
It stays in you.
it does.
It
It
stays
does.
in you. I was telling, I don't really go to church much, but
Mm,
or at all. But I was saying that when my son he's starting to. I just got him a little drum set,
yeah,
and because he beats on everything, and I'm like, oh, he's got that fucking rhythm.
yeah,
So I bought him an electric drum set to not bleed my ears out while
yeah.
he's learning. But I was like, oh, once I was telling my wife, once he starts really getting it down a bit, and maybe like 2 years or so, because he's 5 now, so
Yeah.
probably around the time he's 7 or 8, and he can like, it's easier to teach him a little better. It's like I'm gonna send him to church so that he
Seriously,
can get some school in that
church
church. It's
is
one
a
of the
school
best
for
places to
musicians.
learn. If
Woo.
you being a musician, you get put in the fire and just like molded and shaped. You learn how
Yeah.
to do everything on the fly. You learn how to listen. You learn feel. You learn rhythm. You learn all of that in church. And most of them don't even know theory. They don't even know how to read.
That's
They
so
don't even know none
true.
of that shit. You just still learn and get molded to
Yeah.
become a great musician in church. And I was like, he's got to go there. He's also got to go to like jazz, clubs and jazz, if they have that program in school. I know in my school they had like the jazz band.
Yeah,
So like
yeah,
stuff like that. So cuz all of those things are going to
yeah.
mold you to be a great fucking musician. And I want him to
Exactly.
be 10 times better than I am. I
No,
want
that's
him to fucking
definitely that's always the goal.
skyrocket,
That's always the goal. Man, I'm hungry.
Absolutely. I am too. I'm also tired.
Yeah,
We
this is
both
this has been really we dug in. We dug
absolutely.
in.
Like I
Shoot.
said, I never know how this is going to go.
Yeah.
But great people out there. The few that have been listening, we gonna grow this thing.
Oh yeah.
Because I've been consistent this year with the podcast.
Consistency.
Because
See,
last
that's the
year
thing.
I had a lot going on, but this year I've been recording one every week. I gotta put out the live podcast I did,
I bet you a bunch of people are
but
about to tune in after this.
I
I
guarantee
bet
you.
you. I'm about to be this show's Cat Williams.
Come on, son. I'm with it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Cause
Heck yeah.
such and such had beef with, that's what they want to hear.
That's what they. Oh,
That's what they want to hear.
oh,
Cause
I'm not even gonna. Nope, I'm not. Nope.
you don't got to.
Bad
Listen,
brain. Bad brain. Things thinged.
things thung.
Things thung, and that's all I'm gonna say. It like if you guys, that's another reason why I'm so like this whole American Idol experience. If y'all knew the stuff we went through together, oh my gosh, like everybody deserves to be aired. And at the very least, everybody deserves to be seen and heard and listened to. And a lot
Yeah.
of us need hugs.
They need to find some of that footage. You know what I'm saying? So find a
Oh,
way
yeah.
to get some of that footage they got.
Heck yeah,
It's your likeness. I'm pretty sure you could fucking
man.
find a way to get somebody that worked
You know
there.
that contract, man. Essentially, you sign away your likeness.
That is true. You're right. You're right. You're right.
They're like,
In
all right,
perpetuity,
in perpetuity. They're like, anything involving this show, we own you
we
now.
own that bitch. We recorded it. We own that bitch.
Uh-huh.
Well, maybe next time you could come talk more about the whole, experience whenever you come in town.
Yeah.
Just hit me up. We'll do it. So
Heck
we're
yeah.
both hungry
Yes.
and in need of a nap.
Nap and
Uh,
food sounds wonderful.
It sounds delightful. So
Yeah.
thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the UnParishable Podcast. And big up to the man, Eddie Callier.
Woo.
In the beat.
Yeah.
If y'all haven't checked them out, please tell them where to check
Yes.
you out.
All right, so you can find me on Instagram at EDICALLIER. You can find me on YouTube, EDICALLIER. Callier. Apple Music, all the things. Edicallier. And on my website, it is
Again.
Edicallier.
Come on, he made it
Everywhere.
simple and plain,
Simple and plain.
just like the homie Coley.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So listen, y'all go out there, check his. When I say this man is fucking talented and fucking phenomenal, he plays multiple instruments, writes and sings his behind the fuck off. It doesn't exist anymore. So I don't know how he's sitting down,
I'm
but
sitting on air.
but the man's is amazing. So please check him out. Share this podcast for the
Share
people
it.
that are listening on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, all the
Yes.
things, and
All the thing, man.
a link to my Patreon. I just started a Patreon because I need my supporters to support. I'm doing all of this by myself, and it's coming out of my pockets. And I got a child to feed, and a wife to take care of, and a back that needs to be clothed. So if y'all want to go to that Patreon, y'all could join as little as $1. Y'all got $1. You know what I'm saying? A website coming soon. Gonna put up some music, an EP that I'm getting ready to release, and some shit that's not gonna be on Spotify at first. It's gonna be bonus content that you can get from my website or from the Patreon. All the good things. Yeah, and that's that. See y'all later.
Woo, woo.